Hello and welcome to danceboyplace.com, where competitors come first. Today I'd like to talk about training your arms. And the first bullet point I'd like to discuss is lacrosse arms. And today I'm going to be introducing something called a lacrosse ball to help me out, and we can talk about how we're going to use these to strengthen our arms. The next thing I'd like to discuss is how we're going to use these through our movement, and how this adds just a little bit of weight to help us get a little bit more than what we normally do with our bodies. And lastly, we're going to talk about final touches and how we're going to extend those fingers and finish them out completely so that no one complains about them anymore. Thanks, and let's get started. Today we're going to talk about lacrosse arms, and I'm going to introduce these to you. And these are lacrosse balls. And the reason I like to use these instead of a tennis ball is because these do bounce, as you can see, just like a tennis ball does, but they are not hollow. They actually have a little bit of weight to them. So on top of giving us a little bit more strength added to holding a position, it gives us an added benefit because we can use this to help train and sculpt our arms when we're holding our positions. So I want to talk to you a little bit about kind of just using this as a pre-warm-up, or whether you want to do it before competition or whether you're just doing it for practice. I do it quite often, and I use this to help my arms stay nice and toned, and I'm going to hold them in a second position. I'm going to take them through just a series of ballet warm-up that I like to do with some pliés, using my arms through a first position, a second position. I kind of just do some demi-pliés and grand pliés. I can use them to reach and do my port-de-bras and kind of stretch my sides to the left and to the right. I can also just do some relevés up and down on my feet, and you can see I'm holding these balls with my arms nice and toned, and I can do them in multiple positions. First position, I can do some relevés and just hold everything in nice and tight with my lower abdominals. And connecting this, I have the weight of these balls in my arms. So it's going to cause me to have to really think tightly about my upper spine and keeping everything locked in. And it does get very tiring. So these things are awesome, but it is going to kick your butt. So watch out. Lacrosse arms through movement. We are going to introduce these lacrosse balls back again, because as I said before, this adds weight into our movement. So it's going to help us give a little bit more added into the diameters of what we can reach and the lengths of what we can stretch. It's going to help us with our flexibility of our upper body to expand more than we could without them. Now there's different weights to these, so men can use a little bit stronger of a ball like this. The orange is a little bit stronger than, let's say, like a yellow ball. I know that they have easy, lighter weights for women. So you can use it according to who you are, and everyone can do this at any given point. You can do it in closed material. You can do it in some of your open choreography that you have with your competitive work. So I'm going to take a piece of choreography that I have with my waltz, and I want to show you now with the balls in my hands what's going to happen when I take myself through, slowly, some movement with my arms. And as you can see, I'm able to go much wider throughout my entire outsides, because I have a little bit of weight in my hand, so I can really use it to stretch and help me reach to places that I never thought I could, all with these guys. Final touches. In order to get this, I like to think of this as my fingers and what I can do to give that last finishing edge touch to my final picture of what I want to see out on the dance floor. And I have just a simple hair rubber band that I'm going to use, and I'm going to put it around my hand, and as you can see, I'm putting it around my thumb. Now, as a ballet dancer and having been trained, my arms and my hands, they're already formed. I do know how to use them. I've been using them for many years. But for those of you who may need some help and some practice with the formation of our hands, I want you to just take your hand out to the side, and I want you to drop your middle finger down. By dropping it down, you can see that I've kind of just given myself a little bit of what I like to call a ballet arm. So my fingers are slightly exposed, you can see them, but what I do not see is this thumb. And this is what I see from a lot of people that may understand or have taken ballet before, that I don't want to see this hitchhiker thumb. So I like to use this rubber band to kind of keep that thumb in place. And still I'm able to work on my fingers, but now I'm able to do this and keep the thumb in. So if you want to do that on both hands, so you can practice with them, that would be great. But this is that last final touch, because you do not want a line that goes like this and you have thumbs that poke up to the ceiling. It's not nice. It's distracting to the eye. It's too much and people focus on the wrong things. So it's very important to train these things because they have a mind of their own. It's small, but it is the last little touches that we need in order to get what we want. So just to recap on everything that we've kind of talked about, training of the arms for me is like training of the body. If we're going to train our body to dance, we need to train our arms to do the exact same thing. And a lot of people get comments saying that they don't dance their arms enough and they don't know what's going on with their arms, or they have things that are going on and they don't really understand. And so we need to educate ourselves and we need to train it in order to get that final touch. So again, we went through lacrosse arms with our balls, and we did arms in positions to help strengthen the movement of them in just our positions. Then we talked about using them through movement and dancing with them to help create a larger base and more flexibility. And lastly, we talked about finishing our fingers all the way so we don't have any hitchhiker thumbs. So thanks again for watching, and hope you enjoy.